Have you ever noticed that every good drama, every kind of good movie just has certain ingredients? Story tends to kind of follow similar patterns. For instance, every story tends to have kind of like these four acts. There's Act 1, and Act 1 almost always gives us the kind of essential background information. It introduces us to the important characters. Act 2, it introduces a significant conflict. Act 3, this is where the main action of the drama kind of takes place. That initial conflict kind of intensifies and grows more complicated, and it can no longer be ignored. It has to be dealt with one way or another. Then there's Act 4. It's the resolution. It's what we've all been waiting for, because now the conflict is worked out and stability is finally restored. You know, the Bible is a story where we see all four of these acts played out in the stories of Scripture. The Bible is the most translated book in the world. It's been translated into more languages, more dialects than any other book that has ever been written. There are now more than 80,000 versions of the Bible. The Bible is the world's bestseller ever and the most widely distributed book in the world. Its influence on history and culture, including literature and the other arts, is incalculable. And yet, while many of us have read the Bible, we've read this story, maybe you've even memorized portions of the Bible, and while we all agree that there's some kind of unexplainable power in this book, we still have a hard time really understanding the Bible. We have a hard time understanding how that story connects with our story. I believe that we need to understand the larger background story of Scripture if we're to understand ourselves and the world, the story, the drama in which we find ourselves. We tend to kind of, read and understand the Bible as if it were just kind of merely a mosaic of little bits, kind of like a collection of stories. But seeing the Bible in this fragmented way robs you of a greater understanding. If your life is really going to be shaped by the story, you have to pull back enough to kind of see the story. Because in doing so, you'll discover that this isn't a story that you just read or study. This is a story in which you are found. You're a part of this unfolding drama. And so I want to invite you to join us for a new series called Cover to Cover, where in the next 5 weeks, we're going to tell you the entire story of the Bible. We'll help you begin to understand how all of these stories fit together in this grand drama. But most importantly, we'll discover how your story is a part of the greatest story, God's story.